Hello everybody, welcome to Deluxe Collectibles, and today I'm going to be doing my reaction and review for LEGO Ninjago Seabound Episode 1, A Big Splash. If you would like to check out my reaction for this episode, you can be sure to go down below to the top of the description of the video where you will find a link leading you over to Google Photos where you'll be able to view my full uncut reaction to the episode. But without further ado, we're going to get into the review right here, and I would advise checking out the episode first because this will be a spoiler-filled review, so without further ado, let's get straight into it. Alright, so to get started, we're going to go through each part of the episode, and I'm going to discuss my thoughts and opinions on it, and I will let you know that overall, I thought this was a really great first episode here for Seabound. I thought it did a great job of kicking off the story, and we begin it by basically getting straight into the action by going up against a new villain in this episode named Misdemeanor, and she basically uses these flamethrowers to fight against the ninja, and I thought she had a really cool and unique personality as well. She was really fun, kind of just like her dynamic with the ninja. I thought it just seemed really silly because she's kind of like, oh man, I'm like a high profile enough villain to be going up against the ninja, and I thought that was just really fun. It was almost like kind of like being a fan of the ninja, but at the same time you're fighting against the ninja as well. So I thought that was really funny. It allowed for some pretty cool comedic moments as well, and even Jay cracks a pretty funny line when he's like, why are we always just fighting like common thugs? And it kind of made me think of like the finale for the island, because that's basically who they wind up fighting in the finale, is just some common thugs. So it's kind of funny how they do really wind up going up against them quite often, but I'm sure for this season they're going to go up against some bigger villains, including of course Kalmar eventually. But I thought that was just kind of funny, and then we basically just have them attempting to stop Misdemeanor. Here we see Cole kind of going up against her and being able to take out two of the trucks, but then they're still kind of attempting to get away here with Misdemeanor, and she's carrying kind of the last shipment here. Now we do get to see what they are taking after Cole takes out two of the trucks, and it seems to be Vengestone that they are transporting. So once again, just kind of teasing that Vengestone buyer and what's kind of going on with that, and I feel like that might not be addressed in Seabound, but I feel like it will be addressed in some sort of future season. So I like them kind of laying the seeds for that sort of storyline eventually to come down the line. But basically we see Nia trying to take on the of course villain here, which of course it fits very well. She's using flamethrowers, so of course the obvious choice to go up against her is Nia, and she summons this gigantic water tornado basically, or water vortex, whatever you want to call it, and it is a really cool moment, but it actually winds up kind of going out of control, and Nia's not able to like fully control the tornado to take out Misdemeanor, so she winds up getting away. The ninja wind up kind of having to like go up against this water vortex, and it's kind of heading towards a village, so they try to stop it basically. There's a really funny moment between Zane and this one kid from the village where the kid's like, hey, don't you go like beep boop, like typical robot sounds, and Zane's like, yeah, I do not talk like that, and I thought that was really funny. By the end of it, he winds up saying that, so kind of cool there. I thought that was a funny moment. Once again, they see a chicken as well that's about to get wiped out by what is basically a tsunami that Nia has created here, a mini one I would say, but it basically takes out the village, but luckily they're able to get all of the people out of there. So I thought that was really cool, just kind of a nice introduction here showing this disruption that's happening to Nia's powers, and at this point we don't really know what it is. It's not clear yet. So they go back to the monastery where they're kind of talking with Sensei Wu, informing him, or Master Wu I suppose, but informing Wu basically just what happened here and that something was up with Nia's powers. So they go to do some research, and Wu actually winds up kind of uncovering to them, or revealing to them, that water and wind are not a part of like the original elements that were mastered by the first Spinjitzu masters. So that's definitely very interesting. Of course, wind kind of relating to Moro, but water of course relating to Nia. And then he pulls out the scroll that shows an illustration of Wojira, and it's kind of revealed that Wojira is actually kind of the holder or original keeper of of the wind and water elements. So it wasn't really the first Spinjitzu master who sort of controlled those, but it was actually Wojira. So very interesting there. In the illustration we can see as well that Wojira has the storm amulet and then the wave amulet as well, which is going to be of course the one that's kind of featured in this part of the season here for Seabound. And of course the previous amulet, the storm one, was featured in the island. So I thought that was really interesting. Maybe that could wind up coming back into play, because in the illustration we do see that Wojira has both of them in her forehead, and at the end of the island we could only see one of them in her forehead. So maybe she's going to try to get back the other one, so that could be interesting to see. And then they're trying to kind of figure out what's going on with Nia's powers. She kind of just goes off because she's pretty frustrated that she's kind of just being blamed for all of this when it wasn't really in her control, of course, and she was just kind of like she messed up, but of course unintentionally. And then Kai goes to her basically kind of suggesting, well, maybe we should like call up Mum, of course Maya, because she was the original master of water and it would make the most sense. But they kind of discuss how like basically Nia and Kai aren't really that close to their parents because they grew up kind of on their own for most of the time. So they kind of discuss that, and Nia's of course very opposed to it. But then she's going around the monastery and everything's getting messed up. You get to see the dishes kind of going to all like just getting messed up by Nia because the water's going everywhere when Zane's trying to do them. You see Cole, all of his drinks are just going everywhere. And then right at the end they're confronting Nia again, and then someone comes through the gates, and of course it is Maya and Ray as well. Now we don't actually get to see Ray within the episode. I mean, we kind of do. He's carrying basically all of the luggage, and Kai gets to have a moment where he says hi to his dad, but we don't get a full introduction. I'm assuming that'll come probably in the next episode. But Nia does not seem happy about this, and she turns to the other ninja and she's just not having it, and Kai's just like, well, you know, I mean, the thing is, you're being a bit stubborn. We probably need Maya's help here. So, kind of a funny conclusion there to the episode. But overall, I thought it was a really well done episode. I really enjoyed, of course, getting the introduction of that new sort of villain. Now, I'm not sure how big of a villain she's going to wind up being, but she did wind up escaping. So, I thought that was pretty cool. Very quirky villain, as most Ninjago ones are. I could see her maybe teaming up with like Fuji Dove or something like that in the future. So, I think that could be kind of fun. But I'm assuming we'll see Misdemeanor at some point in the future and find out more about that Venge Stone, but I'm assuming that's not really going to be the focus of Seabound. Of course, it was just kind of a small introduction for the episode, but I like the way they did it because it allowed for a lot of action in the episode. And then of course we slow it down a bit to kind of explore like how Nia's dealing with this, and then of course introduce Maya, or reintroduce Maya, I suppose. And I really like the whole vibe she gives off. It honestly reminded me a lot of Coco from the Lego Ninjago movie, just kind of the way she acts around Lloyd, and I thought that was really cool. It kind of paralleled that with how she was interacting with Maya, so I thought that was pretty funny right there. So I'm interested to see more from her and how much she's going to be featured in the season, because I know she's featured in quite a few of the episode descriptions that we've seen thus far, so I'm assuming she's going to be a fairly big part of it. So I'm excited to see that in her development of her relationship and dynamic with Nia, so that'll be fun to see. But yeah, overall, I'd say it was a really great episode, but now I want to hear all of your thoughts down below in the comment section. Let me know what your opinions are on this first episode, and also if you checked out the reaction, thank you so much, and thank you for watching the review as well. If you did enjoy, it would be highly appreciated if you could leave a like on this video, and also subscribe as well if you would like to check out some of my other content also. So thank you so much. I'll see you all next time, and always remember, keep on collecting.